Hello people, so today I wanted to do a video on films that have anniversaries coming up and for this year that a bunch of films had anniversary for and that were released on physical media. I think it's really great and important I know, like, people that have been collecting for years have seen multiple releases of things, but to celebrate something on its 10th anniversary, 20th, 50th, I think it is really important to not only celebrate something, but to catalogue it, and to timestamp it, to see its enduring effect on the landscape. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of releases that did get released, that did have anniversaries, and then I'll move on to some titles that didn't get one this year, which inspired me to actually do this list. So that's a negative, and then some future releases that we can look forward to for next year, hopefully. From the jump, School of Rock got a steelbook, really nice. And you know what? I'm a big proponent of films of this era from late 90s, 2000s to get a lot of physical media love, because it's not only people that grew up in the 80s that love physical media. Let's encourage people that are in their 20s and their 30s to have films in their collection that represent them and their childhood. So that was great to have. That's great to have. So The Elf is another film of that time period. Coincidentally, that's getting a 20th anniversary steelbook with a really nice set. For £40 on HMV, which is sold out. I missed out on HMV. It looks like a really cool set. It has all some goodies. I think it has a poster, some art cards. Yeah, I'm really surprised that they're going to this effort with Elf, but I'm really happy for it. Doctor Who is celebrating its 60th anniversary with 3 specials coming on DVD and Blu-ray. I think that's coming in January. And Doctor Who is getting a whole revival anyway, so this just fits in with their agenda. So that's really cool. The Halloween franchise, Halloween H2O, 25th anniversary steelbook, which I haven't picked up, but I really want to. The artwork just looks really, really, really good. Mean Street, 50th anniversary is coming in January by Second Sight, and Second Sight, I'm a big lover of Second Sight, the label, and I look forward to that release. So a lot of films did get their 50th anniversaries this year, and were celebrated, which is really great. So The Exorcist, that got a steelbook. I think it got a 4K, probably a Blu-ray, and it got this epic sort of that Bible set, it's in sort of a book, made to look like the Bible. Yes, and Exorcist is one of we're not going to talk about greatest, but we're going to talk about most iconic films of all time. So of course it's great to celebrate something like that. Rambo First Blood got an epic set. It got a smaller set, medium size, and then there's this huge set out there. And it also got a steelbook if you're a steelbook lover, and there are steelbook lovers out there, and I'm becoming a steelbook lover, I think. So that was really cool to see. Wicker Man 50th anniversary got a steelbook. It got a box from Studio Canal, which is really cool. But also the label Imprint, I think it was last year, they brought out this. It's one of the greatest sets I've ever seen a physical media have. So that was Imprint that did that. I think it was last year. Enter the Dragon 50th anniversary. That got 4K. I think it got steelbook. You've got Training Day, got a steelbook, and a 4K. And things that are celebrating its 100th anniversary. Can you believe that? Films have endured, longer than 100 years. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, by Eureka. They released that, or they're going to release it. And the Ten Commandments. Now, I'm pretty sure the Ten Commandments got a 4K. I'm pretty sure it was in the UK, but I'm almost certain that America did get a 4K of that. Or we did too, maybe last year or sometime this year. So they were all titles that did get released. I'm holding one there, and they're all, regardless of whether you like the films or not. And I'm sure a lot of others, there's Rambo's, your Mean Streets, everything like that. So like iconic films and just films that will have a fan base for people are getting released, and that's really great to see, and at different price levels as well to accommodate different people. And that wasn't all. There were like so many more films that got anniversaries that I just didn't mention. Now, let's look at some titles that did not get anniversaries in the year 2023. And this film particularly is the reason why I did this video in the first place, because I'm just shocked. I'm aghast. I'm like, I don't even know how to feel. The Great Escape. I don't know if the US has like an anniversary treatment for this, but it's been 60 years since that film was released. The Great Escape is something that like English people watch. A lot of English people watch every year around Christmas on TV, and like I'm sure. I'm pretty certain there's Blu-rays and whatnot, but like let's get some. Well, we're not even going to get no love for it this year, so yeah, that was such a big disappointment. Films that came out 20 years ago. X-Men 2. I mean, not sure why that wasn't given any love. I mean, it's a sequel in a franchise. It's like they're not showing much love to X-Men at the minute. Now that like Marvel have got it, so probably that's why. Freddy vs. Jason, that has its fan base, so I don't know why that's not got like some anniversary love. Love Actually, now I could be wrong. That could have got a Blu-ray or 4K sometime this year. But Love Actually is like a fan favorite of like not just like film lovers, but just people, just human beings in general that watch TV. Love Actually is always on around Christmas and whatnot, around the holidays. And Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday is another film, that released 20 years ago that would accommodate and people that are in their 20s and 30s and even younger. So I don't know why some of these films are not getting the treatment. Perhaps they don't believe that. Well, Freddy vs. Jason would sell really well. Like if you're going to bring out Halloween H2O, you bring out Freddy vs. Jason, right? Films that had their 25th anniversary this year. Blade. Now Blade is also in that transition where it's Marvel are doing something with it, so perhaps that's why they want to forget about the Blade trilogy. Blade, being from 1998, and they want to move on from it. A Bug's Life, another film from the round that 25 years ago, where I feel that they should be getting released. Rush Hour. They could have done a wicked Rush Hour set. I know it's the first one of a trilogy, so what do you do? But you think of something, don't you? Saving Private Ryan. That would sell well. Yeah, people love Saving Private Ryan. And finally, the last film that didn't get a release that I found is the 30th anniversary of What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Johnny Depp, DiCaprio, and the cast is really great. I really like the film. Watched it for the first time this year actually, and yeah, so didn't get a release. Now let's look at next year, right? Let's get excited. I brought the negativity. I brought the bar down low because I wanted to address some things. Now let's look at next year and what we could look forward to. Now, based on what I've said on the films that did get released and the films that didn't get released, and what I'm about to tell you is coming has anniversaries, we're not going to get all these films, I don't think. Based on the fact that like if it was a few years ago and you told me it was the 30th anniversary of What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I would have told you I probably would have got released by someone out there. Yeah, and like Freddie, yeah. So let's look ahead to 2024. Let's see what's coming out. Let's get excited, and hopefully not get too disappointed, eh? So we've got the 20th. Here's a bunch of films that are going to get their 20th anniversaries in 2024, right? Saw. the people love the Saw franchise. Saw has just got a revival this year with the 10th Saw film, so I do expect there to be some love for the original Saw. I do. Shark Tale, another one of those films from 2004, where I think should it's an animated film, it's a kids film, but I think it should be given some love. Dawn of the Dead remake, that's got its fan base. If I was a betting man, I'd probably say that will get some treatment. 50 First Dates. There are people that love romantic films. Adam Sandler, and I forget who he's working with in that film, who his co-lead is. Spider-Man 2, strange one. If I was a betting man, I'd say it probably won't get any treatment. If X-Men 2 didn't, why would this? It's a sequel as well. Yeah, and I know like in the last few years they did bring out a 4K trilogy of that. So yeah. The Grudge, American remake. Now, I will be very, very, very shocked if this doesn't get a release to celebrate its 20th anniversary, because The Ring did get a release. And I was very, very, very happy with the fact that The Ring got released in a steelbook. So I'm imagining they'll do the same with The Grudge, and they've got to, man. That would be worse than not bringing out The Great Escape if they don't bring out The Grudge anniversary, just to pair it with The Ring, Shaun of the Dead is getting its 20th anniversary. Now, a bunch of us love Shaun of the Dead. I would be shocked if they don't do something, but they might not. Anyway, 25th anniversary. One of my favourite films of all time is The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, and I haven't got any high hopes, but I would love The Mummy to get some treatment. American Pie. I could see there being something for American Pie. They do stuff for like Austin Powers. So yeah. The Sixth Sense. Enormous film, terrific film. They'd be missing out if they don't do something for that. The Phantom Menace, Star Wars. 1999. Star Wars films have been released and released and released, so many times, which is probably what some of you are thinking. I mean, I think it would be pretty cool to get like a standalone sort of like treatment for the Phantom Menace, and yeah, Fight Club. Fight Club is getting its 25th anniversary. I'm pretty sure they'll do something for Fight Club. Now, 30th anniversary. I've got down here Pulp Fiction, but I mean, the Tarantino films are getting 4K treatments. They have done since like the last few years, so I'm not sure whether they'll celebrate it. The Mask, Jim Carrey's The Mask. If they haven't already got a 4K for The Mask, they'll bring out a 4K probably. Miracle on 34th Street. I reckon they'll do a 4K around Christmas next year, around November time. The Lion King. A 4K, if they haven't already got a 4K of The Lion King. And Speed. I could see a release of Speed. Come on, that's a cult film. Now, 35th anniversary. I've only got one here. It's another, comedic romance film. When Harry Met Sally. That's got its fan bases for people that watched it, 35 years ago and whatnot. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm sure people would love to celebrate that release. Now, 40 films that are getting their 40th anniversaries in 2024. The Karate Kid, but the Karate Kid did get this massive box set of the whole franchise. Either at the end of last year, I think it was at the end of last year. So I mean, they've already celebrated that. Ghostbusters. So Ghostbusters, the original, was getting its 40th, and I think the sequel is getting its like 35th anniversary or something at the same time. I could see them doing something for Ghostbusters, being that the new film that they've made, that they've got trailers out for now, is coming out, I presume, next year. So it probably lines up. Gremlins. I know you can get Gremlins on 4K. I don't think you can get Gremlins 2 on 4K. So maybe they'll do something there. Terminator. I mean, if they did something from Rambo, they're going to do something with Terminator, right? Now, one of my favourite films, arguably my favourite film of all time, Nightmare on Elm Street, is getting its 40th anniversary. Forget what I said before about losing my top if they don't do films for those, if they don't do something for Nightmare on Elm Street, what's the point in physical media? Now, films. There's a film getting its 85th anniversary, Wizard of Oz. I'm sure that that's going to get some treatment love. I'm sure that's going to get like the tiered love. You know, you're going to get like your steel, because you got a Willy Wonka steelbook coming out. It looks really nice. So I reckon you'll get, you know, a steelbook. You'll get a bigger box set, and then you'll get like a £80 box set, £100 box, something like that. I reckon that'll get. I reckon that'll get a lot of treatment. Alien 45th anniversary. I'll be first one, you know, jumping with both hands for a cool release of Alien. One of the greatest films ever made by one of the greatest directors, Ridley Scott, who still continues to make films, like the upcoming film Napoleon, which I haven't seen, but I've heard him talk about it. And he's one of those directors that are still making practical films, bringing films to life using the landscape, you know, not just using, anyway. And there's, I'm not sure what anniversary it's getting, but Some Like It Hot. I included this because I'm sure that there's a bunch of fans out there. I'm not even sure how old he is, probably like 30 or, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I recognise the name, Some Like It Hot, and I'm sure that there are a fan base out there for it. So that'll be something that like captures people that are older than myself. Now, finally, just to look even further ahead, another reason what inspired me to do this, because at the same time I was looking at picking up Dog Day Afternoon, and I couldn't work out why there was just like a standard Blu-ray for it. I don't know why this film is not being like sort of like lauded more than it is. Then I realised it has its anniversary coming up. I think it's the 50th anniversary in 2025. That's Al Pacino, I believe. So, you know, Al Pacino does get a lot of love in terms of physical media. So I'm not sure if that's a Scorsese film, if he directed it. But that has to be celebrated. I think it will be. I think it would be a damn shame if it isn't. I reckon, you know, the front runners will probably be Arrow will do something, or Second Sight, based on Second Sight doing Mean Streets. Arrow being someone that celebrates a load of cool films. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to look forward to. There's things to be disappointed in. And there were lots of releases in 2023 that were worth getting hold of. Thanks for listening. Let me know what releases you picked up in 2023 that had their anniversaries that you just you couldn't let sit on a shelf, or you couldn't let be sold out. I mean, let me know about any films that are coming out next year. You know, probably ones that I've mentioned that you definitely want to have celebrated, and then let me know, you know, any films that, like, whilst you've been collecting for however many years you've been collecting, were there any films that you're just disappointed that just didn't get celebrated over the years? Cheers, thank you.